coach at Ruby Tuesday Moanalua. I'm with my good friend Eran Ganot and our head coach for the last 9 years. And I just think that this is what's ironic. This might be the nicest group of young men I have seen yet in all the years, and yet they're struggling.
Oh, I think we've had some good groups. Obviously, like I said ad nauseum, we're really proud of these guys, and we're struggling. We're in it, but you appreciate going through the challenge of it too. Through the good times, through the bad times, it's part of it. I know the group wants to do better. We want to do better, and we're continuing to work hard to break through.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of time. There's only one recipe to break through, and you've said it how many times? I mean, you've said it. You don't know what to do except get back to work.
Yes, this is a workman-like group, and the guys traveled well back, practiced well today. Get to do something about it. We watched our film, did our routine, and so it's get back to work. It's a great go-to. Balance that with attacking the right things, and I think a lot of it seems like a broken record. Usually when we've been exposed in the past, we've continued to build off our strengths, attacked our weaknesses, and get better. And right now it's kind of we're stuck in it. And we haven't done that too often over those 9 years, but here we are. And, you flip the script really quickly in terms of you own it, attack it, no excuses. You say, hey, I wish we had these games back, and that's not been our message to our team. We didn't get them back. You don't get them back. What are we going to do about it in the moment, in the future? And we're still finding our team. You've seen us look at different experiment and things like that. And so, lineups, it's the reality of where we're at, and we're continuing to work and have the faith and belief that we will break through.
It's funny because you've made a change. I don't know how many consecutive starts Javon had until UC San Diego, and you made a change because one Munoz was playing really good ball, and he's a good shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known that. So here's what I wonder. How did Javon adjust to that?
Well, our expectations for all those guys to handle it well. I mean, we communicate it, and we let him know beforehand, and, he's still playing starter-type minutes, and he's a big part of what we do. And, sometimes over the years we haven't had too many changes in lineups, and sometimes when we do, it's, not too many. But this year's been a little different, and like I said, Javon's a big part of what we do. Juan's playing well too. They're both a big part of what we do, and we're still looking for the right combinations. It's not where you want to be right now, but it is the reality of where we're at.
Well, the one guy I think it's really good to have Juan here because he's got kind of a nice level head about him, but he's not if somebody messes with him on the court, he responds. He doesn't let that go. No,
he's a competitor. He's a believer. He's been through a lot. I mean, I don't think there's anything you could throw at him that he hasn't seen and it's made him tougher. And, he had to go through the progressions earlier in the year and working his way back. And now he's, pretty much normal, which is great. And, he's an elite shooter. If you make a mistake or a lapse, he'll make you pay really quick. He's an underrated passer. You can see his anticipation in passing lanes. He's a guy who will take a charge like he did today. He'll get his hands on some balls. And, I just think, we need them all clicking at the same time.
Let me get to this because I think this is very interesting. I don't ever see the guys carping about each other or about playing time. I mean, Harry Rulideff is a good example. He didn't play much for a couple of games, and I never heard a peep out of him.
No, I mean, the balance is you want them to be, not be happy with not playing.
Right.
But channel that energy. So all the guys want to play. But once a decision's made, we work together, we support each other, just like whether it's game by game or within a game when guys come out, they cheer for each other. And that's an expectation in our program. And, it's one of those things you just say hard to do, but you got to do it. Stay together from start to finish, the start of the year to the end of the year. Teams will fragment things like that. And when there's struggles or whatever, and our group doesn't do that. Sometimes I think this specific group gets a little sad when things aren't going our way. Like I've said at times, in a current theme right now is when we miss some shots, it affects us in a lot of different areas. And we've addressed it, and hopefully that's going to be – because we're not going to always make shots, obviously. And, our rebounding is in the ballpark. Our defense has always been in the ballpark. It's not quite elite like we were last year. We're a good defensive team, a good rebounding team, and we're struggling offensively.
Who's got the scout this week?
I believe it's John.
Okay, that's good to know because I have to get over there and interview
Yep.
him tomorrow. And it's one of the things that I really do enjoy is that's what I'll miss on the road is when you guys go over this stuff, and I can catch it at home because you do the same exact thing at home because everybody. It's so funny because you'll have this is the guard and it's Rob Jones. I'm like, oh, hang on a second now.
Yeah.
What
He's
are we
got to
doing?
mix in for some personnel,
A suspension of disbelief. But I like the way everybody goes about their business. And I think probably because Rob Jones has come from the Randy Bennett kind of school. He knows exactly where it's at, and what's going on.
Yep.
And because it's so similar. And now John Montgomery is the same thing because he's been here the whole 9 years with you.
Yeah, well, I think there's a business-like approach. That's what I keep saying when you're struggling, keep coaching. I mean, we're at the heart of it all. Our job is to make them better men and put them in positions to succeed, and we're all in this together. I think you heard me say it ad nauseum, there will be no excuses ever in our program. We will take ownership. We will give credit, and we will get back to work. And the buck at the end of the day stops here. I got to do a better job putting them in better positions, and that's what we're working on.
This is a text for you, Coach. The 3 spot has been inconsistent. Can you explain why you did not play Moore and Bernardo at the same time?
Yes, I would agree. The 3 spot has been inconsistent, and we've obviously looked at different scenarios there, including playing 3-guard lineup, and also we talked recently, I know as Akira's come in the lineup, giving us some shooting while we're struggling from shooting, maybe him playing some 3 as well. And the guys who may have been struggling at the 3 that they continue to break through. We work. The guys work, we work, we're working with everybody. The Moore and Bernardo thing they've been battling each other. I don't think Bernardo's had a lot of reps at the 4 over the years. I mean, that would change our deal significantly in terms of a double post, and I think Justin McCoy is doing a really nice job at the 4. Obviously, he's a guy who's contending for an all-conference type year if we perform, and Akira's given us a lift recently, Harry. So I think Moore and Bernardo, and Moore's continuing to work to play extended minutes. That's why it's been tough to get them both at the same time. But right now, hands are on deck, and as you can see, we've tried a lot of different things during this struggle.
I mean, some of the guys, Ryan Rapp has been a starter some of the time. Matthew Cotton, and he had that one great game against UT El Rio Grande,
right.
I think it was. And then, but I mean, it's not everybody the same every night. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what you're trying for, right?
Yeah, and that's not. Some people are changing things every other day. I mean, we went with Matt for about 12 starts. We went with Ryan for about 7 starts. That position can really give us what we're looking for really is a 3-and-D guy, a guy who can spread the floor and guard and rebound and make the right plays and bring some passion and energy. And so we're still looking for that, obviously, very clearly. And, sometimes you've seen us go with the 3 guards together, whether it's Noel. The other day we went with Cody Williams for a stretch there, and then even for a possession or 2 going with Akira. So, like I said, it's the reality of where we're at. We certainly want more consistency with it, but we haven't had that. So we got to continue to search. And again, the reality of the situation we're in.
Let me ask you a little bit about AJ Mitchell. He's from same country.
Yeah, Belgium.
Yep, same country as Noel. And I think last year, was he the player of the year last year?
I think so.
And so that makes me wonder, he's not been quite as he's scoring, but he's not the magic man that he was last year. What appears to be their problem?
I don't know if it's that. I think teams are making him give it up sometimes. I mean, overall in the course of the year, he's scoring close to 20 a game. He's getting 5 or 6 assists. He gets a lot of rebounds. He's a better shooter. So I think, over the years, I think they had some changes in their front court, and you could see their potential, though. Like, their talent across the board is extreme. And when you have a guy – and sometimes the numbers don't reveal it, but AJ is obviously going to contend for Player of the Year again because he makes the right play. If you show on him in a ball screen, he can hit the roller, he can hit the lift, he can hit the weak side, he can If you don't, he can turn the corners. He gets to the line as well as anybody. And so he's the best player at the most important position in the league, and he makes clutch plays. He makes big plays late, and that's a problem. And they surround him. Like Pierre-Louis has been there for a while. He's improved. They have probably the best shooter in the league on the perimeter to make it really hard to help much with him when he gets into the paint. So, and then they're really big inside. So sometimes we're going through it. They're going through it at different times. Hopefully we both finish well. But AJ is a big part of what they do for sure.
Well, now it's time for you guys to turn it up, because I still think this team is way better than it's performed so far. And they've performed in stretches.
Yeah.
The problem's been consistency.
No, I mean, I think hopefully, one of the things that'll break through for us if someone does eventually emerge and we can have a consistent rotation. I think I'm surprised by some of the, performances from some of the guys, but we're going through it. It happens to different guys at different times. The belief is still there. The confidence is still there. I think those guys will break through. I think we got to continue to defend, continue to rebound. The offense and the turnovers has really been a struggle, and that's what we were attacking while not making sure we don't lose some of our strengths.
Is your wife getting harangued in the shopping malls because she's feisty?
Oh, that's good. We got an issue going on?
No, not right this minute, but I'm saying I don't think she's not a person to just suffer fools gladly.
Oh, your knots are competitive.
Yeah.
We'll fight.
That's okay. And especially with your daughter, you want that competitive.
She's got I'm like sitting here going, my wife and daughter aren't here. Like, it's a lonely time. No, Ziza's got practice right now. So I think Barbie's on her way. Ziza can't make it. And Barbie is here.
Yeah, Barbie's
there we
here.
go. I didn't hear her.
I was talking about it.
I was concerned. I said when we landed the other day, we were busing back to the school, and usually Barbie's there and Ziza. And I said, joked to our staff, I didn't tell her that. I was like, there's a chance Barbie and Z don't even show up here and pick me up. But they were there. I'm like, unbelievable. Loyal. Very loyal.
That's loyal. Let's take a quick time out. We'll be right back. We're at Ruby Tuesday, Moanalua. This is called The Coach. let's talk about what's upcoming. Santa Barbara has back from the time when there was the fight with
I heard
when
about
Gib
that, yeah.
Arnold was there, that was really interesting. And they were like, hey, challenging us, like the guys on the press row, like, you want some? I was like, we're working. We're not here to fight. We're here to let the players do that.
Right.
And so, but I know a couple of guys on that staff are ready to go. And I thought, this is not what it's supposed to be. But sometimes things get the better of people, and we've seen it happen nationally.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that shouldn't happen that do. But I have to say, as a general rule, your guys don't lose their egg. They don't lose their control of themselves.
No, there's a balance. I want our guys to play with incredible passion and have great composure. And there's a lot of teams. It's a league play. It's January. There's going to be a lot of tense moments, and I don't want us to be too composed, because I think the passion is really important. So finding the balance is really important.
Well, and I think by and large that's been done. I mean, you look at some of the games you guys have played. There's been some really close games. I mean, they have not been blowouts. They've been super, super close one-possession games.
Yeah, and that's where the possession battle has really hurt us over the year. To have 20 turnovers the other day to 10, especially recently, like you don't want to win the possession battles, and we're doing that on the boards. Sometimes
it's been really good.
Yeah, sometimes the possession battle comes to the boards, the free throw rate, the threes versus their threes if you shoot good percentages, and then obviously the turnovers. The turnovers have been really troubling and unforced. We had 20 the other day. We didn't even get pressed. So we're working on it. Those are fixable, and like you said, you could see the potential in each game we've played, but obviously we're looking for a breakthrough in consistency, recurring theme.
Here is a text. Coach, Johnny White also said that you have 4 to 5 games to figure it out, which might be too late by then. Will offensive sets be changed so it comes unexpected to other teams?
Yeah, we're obviously looking at a lot of different combinations, whether it's personnel or on the floor or stuff we're doing. I think you saw recently we tried to, and we've seen some more zone, obviously on the road. But having an inside-out attack that just wasn't reliant on Bernardo and Moore at times. Moore is still working on his back-to-the-basket game. That will come for him. So you've seen Justin McCoy get inside. And, in the past we've had 3 different looks because we've been able to post Samuta or Kamaka or Jerome or our 5s. And so Justin giving us a lift inside has helped us. And we obviously every week in teams it's unique. We don't, with the travel back and forth, we got to be really efficient when we do practice, but we're definitely looking at different combinations and things to mix things up.
That you expect to continue even on Thursday?
Yes. No, I think it's like, here's what we're doing well, here's what we're not. So we're going to continue to build off what we're doing well, and we're not doing well in some areas. So we're going to have to look at different things. And it might not happen overnight, but I think over the course of the stretch coming up that, we're trying to play our best basketball at the end of the year. And, sometimes with the lack of consistency in some of the rotation, that's been a tough for us to find a fit. So, at the same time with the offensive sets, the transition, we've been able to defend. We don't get a lot of steals this year, but our defense is solid. But we needed to make them pay when we get some stops and push it and get some easy baskets. Our offensive rebound, our rebound overall is really good, but
really
it's been
good.
One-sided because our defensive rebound is top 30 in the country. Our offensive rebounding is in the mid-200s. So overall, we've been a good rebounding team, but it's been dominant on the defensive side of the ball. So hopefully we can get some easy baskets with the offensive rebounds, get some more in transition, and mix some things up in the half court.
Okay, got another text for you. Should our team be putting up some of our shots faster so that the shot clock doesn't become a problem? We were talking about this earlier.
It's like, I appreciate I'm with everyone who's texting in, calling, feeling the pain. We're on this together. I understand exactly where everybody's coming from. I don't think we've ever encouraged hold the ball till the end of the clock. I think what I've said over the last month or 6 weeks, because early in the year it wasn't happening, is we got to break through when some shots don't fall for us to stop being hesitant. I mean, I think we're top. We're in the top 30 in the country at getting threes up. So I think we've missed when we've watched our teams over the games. Every time when we've missed some good looks for a stretch, we start to get hesitant and playing cash, and that's when we're in trouble. We've talked about some need plays, whether it's late game, but especially when so shot selection can depend on time, score, situation. If we missed a couple looks early from three, time to get it back inside, whether it's penetration to the line, to our post that we talked about. But the intention is not to play late clock, and it's disappointing that that's what it's come to of late.
Into.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask about that. Let me ask about that a little bit.
I'll say this too. It's something you hear a lot of times. Pass up a good shot for a great shot.
Yes. But
we've tried to rephrase that, and obviously we're still working through it. Is don't pass up a good shot for maybe a great shot later in the clock.
Right.
Like passing a good shot for a great shot is I get a kick out, somewhat contested three, but one of our shooters is wide open. Give it the ball. But let's say I have a good one and nobody's open. You got to be aggressive, ready, and go from there. So, we've tried to do our best as a staff to try to continue to get it. You gain confidence from working, and you gain confidence from seeing results due to the work. But right now, I think we're pressing a little bit because some of those good looks haven't fallen. And when one or two guys, it's always contagious both ways. You share the ball, everybody shares. You hold the ball, everybody starts to hold it. And when we play a little more ISO and a little more hesitant, we get to late clock situations.
Well, let me ask about this UC Davis team.
Yep.
Because they just beat Irvine, didn't they?
Yes.
I mean, how the heck does that happen? They don't nearly have the talent that Irvine.
Well, I think they have one of the player of the year candidate, and they have some returners with DeBrule and Milling and their point guard T.Y. Johnson, and so they actually have a lot of and they were struggling early to find their team. So. My hope and my belief, hope is not a great word because that doesn't show great conviction. My belief is that ours is just happening right now. Theirs happened earlier. They found themselves. So, they played Irvine at home. They played Irvine tough the other day on the road. They're 6-1. They have a guy like Pepper who's gets more shots and more looks than anybody. He can get to the line. Is a really good three-point shooter, strong. They run a lot of great stuff for him. And they have a dynamic point guard who can get guys in good situations, can really attack and transition.
Who would you prefer to have on your team? Pope from UCSD?
You're putting me in a tough spot.
Or Pepper? I'm just
Coleman.
wondering.
I'd rather have Noel Coleman. That's our guy.
Well, there you go. I mean, he's a heck of a player, but he has had, days where he's been blanked.
Yeah.
I just don't get that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what he wants either, and I think he's been worried. Like to be honest, when you watch from afar and you see the guy come into work the way he's attacked this week early, and I'm proud of him. I'm you know me from day one, and I'll be like this. These are our guys. That's my guy, and I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, and listen, we're all sticking with him.
Yeah.
I just don't see that you'd want to do anything else.
Well, I think we can continue to help him. This is all point of attack, and say on an offensively point of attacking team, defensively point of attacking team. Whether he or someone's struggling, point of attack a team. He's going to work. We got to continue to put him in good situations. He's got to balance. Let's say he doesn't make some shots because those guys miss some shots, Pepper, but getting to the line, getting in transition, getting some defensive stops to get us going. The combination of those things make it tough for guys to get blanked, as you said.
No question. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be right back in just a moment. We're at Ruby Tuesday, and this is Call the Coach.
Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union supports Kokua for Maui. Drop off your monetary donations at any of their 12 locations island-wide. They are here for all your money needs and for our family and friends on Maui. All monetary donations go to the Hawaii region of the American Red Cross to specifically help the Maui wildfires. Thank you for your kokua and generosity. Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union and our Maui branch is here for life.
Discover a personalized approach to a healthier you at Hawaii Pacific Health Bone and Joint Centers. Our comprehensive centers offer adult and pediatric sports medicine, orthopedic care, and rheumatology services. We're focused on your mobility and quality of life. Our clinic in Kahala also provides walk-in services for minor bone and joint conditions. So stay active and keep doing what you love. Learn more at hawaiipacifichealth.org/bone and joint centers.
Did you know there's dust floating around your home?
Really?
Yeah, dust starts on hard surfaces like shelves and ceiling fans.
Got another from Facebook. This is Sean. Can you please explain the difference to us what you are looking for or trying to exploit? What is it that the players are struggling with most right now? Mahalo.
Well, the offense is about, there's multiple parts. It's transition offense. So we want to push with poise, attack. We want to flow. So it's attack, threes, layups, flow. Threes, layups, flow. And in the half court, it's about inside-out space, creating an advantage. So the advantage, why we run a lot of the 4-out is you need spacing when you have good shooting. You need spacing when guys get into the right spots. And then we have an inside-out attack with our post. And obviously we talk about Justin posting more as a 4. And also our guards get into the paint, whether it's penetration or through the ball screen. So we do want to get it side to side if we don't have something early, make them pay. But I think if anything where where we're struggling is creating an advantage to create some of these long closeouts, extra pass situations, what we call 21 action, 2-on-1. And, obviously the free throw line hasn't been as great for us this year. It's been a little inconsistent. Our shooting has been inconsistent. So I think we've been struggling with creating an advantage, consistency in the shooting from three. And, I think the lack of emergence in a consistent rotation, even though we're searching, has made it tough as well.
Did the shooting struggles come as a surprise to you this year?
I think you always have. That's why we always say we've never lived and died by the three. I think this group is a little bit doing that because our offensive rebound has hurt us. You want to have, the game is obviously different with guys who can shoot it, and what you see on a daily basis is a team that can really shoot it. And we have shown that at times. We haven't been as great at when the shot's not falling, finding other ways. Because when I say we don't live and die by the three, we have always been a good defensive team, a good rebounding team. This year's group, I think we haven't gotten to the line as maybe solid job on getting to the line, but our offensive rebound is really the lowest it's ever been. So when you have if you want to shoot a lot of threes, you have great offensive rebounding with it because it's hard to defensive rebound some of those long shots, rebounds. You hear that a lot, but we haven't had that balance, and that's also some of that three spot we're talking about, getting more offensive rebounding there. But at the end of the day, I get back to what can we do to put them in better positions to succeed, and so there's been some, and there will be some more experimenting with to find it. We're all in the same solution process right now of finding ways to combat this.
Well, it's funny because when you first started here, and I maybe you could take us through this. My wife loves this story about how you got to be a head coach here. You were here.
Yep.
And then
I was there, then here, there, then here.
Yeah, Gib Arnold, I think, had gotten to be the coach. They were going to find a spot for you, but you decided that you had one available with Randy Bennett, and
with him.
And
yeah,
you were
you
went back with him.
Yep.
And so what was the process? Did you have a feeling you were going to get tabbed for this job? I mean, I know that you probably applied for it, but I'm thinking Randy Bennett might have had a better idea than you did.
That's such an interesting question. I'll answer that how I was then, now, and forever. I know it sounds cliche and it sounds like this guy, they can't be serious. I don't think about anything other than where I'm at as the greatest. That's where I'm invested. I've been very fortunate to be at 2 schools in 21 years.
That's amazing.
3 at St. Mary's.
Think of that. Who could say that?
Well, I like that. I know coaches bounce around all the time, and they're looking for their next option, and they don't get invested. I don't think anyone cares more about Hawaii, the program, the school, the community, the state than me. As a guy who came from afar, invested, was taken in by, I have my Hawaiian mom and Hawaiian dad and aunties and uncles, and now raising our family here. Like, believe me, I'm hurting more than anybody with what's going on. But that being said, when you ask me if I'm thinking about being, I went to one high school at Tenafly, New Jersey. Went to Swarthmore College. So I got my Tenafly Tiger, the Swarthmore Garnet Tide. Here comes the St. Mary's Gale. Here comes the Rainbow Warrior. And I've never given up any of that gear. Like, it's embedded in me. So when I'm at Hawaii, I'm at Hawaii. I went back to St. Mary's, which is similar in terms of my I've spent 8 years there.
Yeah.
This is now 13 years in 2 different stints here. I don't look past any of it. So when whatever was going on here with the coaches or whatever, we're chasing, focused on what we're doing, and kind of that's been easy to say, hard to do, but focus on where you're at, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. And so that's kind of been the approach.
Kind of has, I would say that. All right, here's the thing that I'm particularly interested in. How have you been so successful? You're just about 100% on assistant coaches. You have had remarkable track record, I think, on getting guys that fit in with each other, fit in on the staff, very easy personalities to work with. That doesn't happen by accident.
Well, I think it's credit to all those guys. Number one, I think we've been blessed to have. When I got hired, I said, I say the same thing now. Do what you believe is right. Don't sell your soul. Be willing to take the hits. And some of what we're going through right now is some of the hits. That's why you'll see me own it. I'm not hiding from it. I'll take it on the chin. I'm responsible. But some of the other ones I said was, how do you, when you come in here and there's a lot of foundational issues off the court, NCAA, all that stuff, how do you fix that? Do what you believe is right. Don't sell your soul. Be willing to take the hits and suffocate your program with great people to understand. I'd even say, I was talking to a young new head coach over the Final Four last year, and he was like, what was the – I said, suffocate your program with great people. He goes, I like that word, suffocate. And I said, so we've had great kids, great people, great coaches, great young coaches, great GAs, great support system. I mean, when you combine a special support system with a special group, you can do special things, and you can withstand the tough times. Steve Curran had a great line, when the Warriors were going through it, because everybody goes through it. Or he said, if your culture can't withstand the tough times, you don't have a culture. And so we're going through it, but there hasn't, and everybody's human. We have moments we're human, but we are staying together. So I think we've had great coaches. I think they've gone on, whether it's GAs become assistants become head coaches, whether it's NBA, college, whatever they choose. We currently have a bunch of head coaches on my staff, in my opinion. So that part, I don't enjoy what we're going through right now, but I'm embracing the challenge of it. But I will say I don't lose sleep about the quality of the people in our program.
Well, that's been your superpower, I said before. Let me get to this. I can't even read this thing. It's
probably better that way.
This is from Adrian. So, but I don't think but she didn't write this, obviously. So I can't tell what that first word is. It my conversation? There you go. I can't quite. You can read it if you want because I can't quite.
Does it say talk about? It says talk about the defensive rebounding. Maybe I'll try.
Go ahead.
Is there a time when the team has had an open discussion with the coaching staff and can share their ideas on how they can break through this challenging time, maybe run a different offense? There has always been a time. I think, sometimes I think, and this is a great question, I appreciate it. Sometimes I think when things are going well or things are going poorly, because not everybody's in the locker room in the battle every day, but they're with us. I think we have great fan base. I love these questions. But there's always a thought that if things aren't going right, something might be wrong, or if we have an interaction and investment and empowerment, then maybe during the good times we do and the bad times we don't. No, that's not the case here. You've been there. So to answer the question, is there a time when the team has an open discussion with the coaching staff and can share their ideas? We do that every time. Every time. So, and you've seen our scouting reports which are very interactive. So I think the way your team becomes the best it can be is when I think obviously the players have an investment and a voice in the program. Sometimes people don't like that because there could be some dips with that, but ultimately all we care about is that we can be the best we can be. And when they feel invested and empowered, they are in the process with you. So absolutely, to answer that question, I know that, and we have smart guys, great guys, so we talk it all out, always.
Yeah, and I think I sometimes be amazed that guys are opening their mouths to say, hey, what about, they want to ask a question. They really want to know the answer. They're not speaking just to speak. And I think that is that's really an impressive thing for your program.
Yeah, I think it's helped us, and obviously we're going through the struggles. So I do think, the approach is to embrace the struggle, attack it together. Like handling success and handling failure are both very important. Some people talk about only handling failure. Some people struggle to handle success, and so I think the routine of it, but also at the same time. Outside the box and doing some different things, and we've experimented more. I think guys who've watched us over the years, over the last 4 weeks, you've seen us experiment as much as any time. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do, and you live with it, and that's the nature of the beast. And I have no excuse for our struggle. We're going to continue to find a way to break through.
You have been willing to keep trying things. I mean, it's not like not like we're out of ideas here.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I enjoy about it, because you guys are always looking, okay, where can we get an advantage? How's this slip over working here? I mean, and there have been times when other teams look befuddled, but unfortunately, there's also times where you guys look befuddled.
Yeah. No, I think, like you said earlier, we have a great staff. I'm very fortunate to have the staff we have, both as mentors and coaches, and I think future head coaches. And we got an intelligent group of young men, and we're working through some things. That's the reality of where we're at. So sometimes it's two things. It's do what we do better. Maybe we're not doing what we're doing right, and sometimes it's a combination of that, and we got to do some different things. And we've tried some different things, and we'll keep trying.
Now here is a question from Gerald. I like this question. My observation is that the team is a lot better than what the record says. 10-plus turnovers is high, though. Would you consider a zone press after a made basket? You can dictate game tempo better, and you have a deep bench. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I think what you've seen in the last probably 2 or 3 weeks when we say try different things is we've brought in the zone press. And brought in,
it's looked good at times, I thought.
We brought in the zone press, brought in some more zone, mixed in some man press. Went to Cody a little bit the other day. He gives us some more. It's like what's the best. I'd say this overall. You have a blueprint of how you run your program. You have a blueprint of how you want your style of play. And then you wrinkle it for the strengths of your personnel. And so hopefully we'll have some consistency with the personnel. We actually have a unique thing more than ever in past years. Some of our better offensive players at times can struggle defensively, or some of our better defensive players can struggle at times offensively. And More than other years, like each group that's in together can be very different than in past years.
Well, I really enjoy watching Cody. He was hurt early this year. Didn't play. What's wrong with Cody? He didn't play much. He was trying to recover from the injury.
Yeah.
But when he gets in, you notice him.
Yeah, and that can be contagious. The effort he plays with. Got us back in the game the other day at UC San Diego when we forced some shot clock violations. Yeah. Hopefully we stop having them ourselves and continue to force teams to. So I think all those things, like when we say looking at different things, it's offense, it's defense, it's trying to find ways to get easy baskets. It's maximizing our transition. I do know we got to continue to work on our shooting because whether some people could say that during stretches, too many threes, but some people the way they defend are, we play inside out, we kick out, and that's the right play. It's and even when we try to get inside, they double Justin, double Bernardo, and that can be the right play. But I do think we can get to the line more. I do think we can have a better balance on percentage of shots from three, and I do think we can wrinkle some different things to give our guys some more success.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We will be right back after this. This is Call the Coach from Ruby Tuesday at Moanalua. Rainbow Warrior 9-year veteran head coach, Eran Ganot. Okay, here's a test. How do you fix players that are inconsistent with scoring?
Continue to work and believe with them. So that's vague, general. One we talked about earlier on the show, finding different ways to impact the game. You know, I think when you struggle scoring, sometimes it's one-dimensional. It's whether you make a shot or not. But combining getting to the line, getting to the paint, making some easy baskets, getting in transition, and then doing things to put them in better spots. And lastly, continue to work with them on the player development piece.
Do you think there are times when players actually care too much?
Oh yeah, for sure. We might have some of that. I mean, you know, that's the good thing about pleasers and the bad thing about pleasers. Sometimes they compound the problem. And I think our guys are, I mean, I'll say that again, like we got awesome guys. They care a lot. Like they don't want to be in this situation. They want to perform. They want to represent Hawaii. And, you know, sometimes they compound it where you got to care so much as a liner a long time. Care so much you can let it go. Because that's true, genuine care, doing something about it. Sometimes, whether you're thinking about the mistakes or you're beating yourself up, we all do that, and that has never been helpful. So use that energy to do something you can control.
Okay, here was one that somebody, I think he told you this was coming. He said, are there any opportunities to make the non-conference schedule more challenging to better test the team before they start conference play?
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's interesting about this year's schedule is we had the fall with the Rainbow, but, you know, to play, I don't think there's a team in our league that was able to play the amount of top 50 teams in terms of, you know, Nevada, TCU, Georgia Tech, who had beaten Duke, and who did I forget there? And at Utah, who's obviously on a roll right now. So I think having more of those, having a better balance with some of the games that complemented those, that would have helped with the Rainbow. I mean, I remember the year we had COVID, we had North Carolina coming in. We had Washington State coming into the Rainbow. I think we had San Diego coming in. We had the road trip. And then a couple years prior to that, we played, you know, we hosted the Diamond Head Classic. And if you remember, we went to the Wooden Legacy and went to UCLA. So, and I think this year we're in a good position because we obviously will host the Diamond Head Classic, but we already have North Carolina coming in here on the way to Maui. So, and the Rainbow coming back. So we're hopeful to, you know, every year try to get a Mountain West or a WCC team in the Rainbow and keep that going, and then have that tough road trip. We're looking at what to do with the MTE. We have the Diamond Head, and obviously North Carolina is a marquee game.
Well, I think that getting the big names in here, if you can get them on the way, I mean, that's ideal. And you've developed relationships with Hubert Davis and some of these other guys, so I mean, it's not impossible.
No, it's just the landscape, like anything. Like if people have to understand, the landscape in college athletics has changed from when we started, and that's in general. And then obviously it's trickled down to every component within college athletics, like scheduling. You know, teams would like to come here for an event or on the way to something. That's where we're always trying to get a team on the way to Maui. Every year we'll call every team on the way to Maui. So we're trying that road, whether they come on the way here or on the way back. We went last year, hey, this has been a little more challenging to get teams here, so maybe we'll get them on the way to the Diamond Head. We did. We got Nevada, marquee game, you know, so we're going to try. And that's not easy because how close it is to the Diamond Head. But
Yep.
all hands on deck, outside the box, and, you know, we'll have a tough road trip. We'll look at what we're doing with their MTU. We have North Carolina coming in. The Rainbow will be back. But the nature of getting teams on the way to Maui or for an event has been more challenging. So we have to look at some things internally. People also don't want to miss class, so we got to get more weekend dates. We've talked about that. It's been a hot topic before the year. Our ability to get Friday, Saturday games is very difficult. So you either complain about it or work through it, and that's where we're at.
All right, well, I think that's a good one. Okay, let me get to what you're doing now in terms of recruiting. I think Rob was out one day last week.
Yep.
You have guys in mind? I mean, are you already down to the point where you're saying, I think we could offer this guy?
Oh, yeah. That? No, we're in we have 2 commitments already from freshmen coming in. And, you know, the older guys, because you want to keep your program balanced in terms of classes, age, experience. But when I said the nature of college, nothing's changed more for college athletics than, you know,
recruiting.
It's basically, we've basically made the final culmination or final step to professional sports, whether it's, you know, an NIL world or the free agency that goes with the transfer portal, especially with immediate eligibility. At times this year, just middle of the year, you know, before the year, we couldn't recruit some 2-time transfers because they'd have to sit out. some people took those guys, and that was perceived as a mistake. And then about mid-year in December, they passed the rule that those guys can now play. So like UC San Diego added a kid and things like that. So understanding the rules and navigating the rules, and so a big part of the recruiting class, like when I started coaching, the fall was huge, and you would get maybe a guy or two in the spring. Now it's really flipped, and so I do like the fact that we have some good young freshmen coming in, and we're going to go hard and have big class, like a lot of guys will have big classes in the spring.
All right, here's a text for you. Quick question. What is your favorite memory from coaching UH so far?
Wow. Wow. So it could be moments. It could be my number one. Let me put it this way. Seeing our program go through what we went through when we got here, and to not have to be so stable in some areas that nobody remembers, that is probably my favorite overall moment. In terms of, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But my favorite, obviously.
How about when beating Cal?
Well, that would be, I think it was, because I'll say this, that was my favorite thing to see our program be well respected for how we're doing on and off the court. The best moment ever, in terms of in the moment, to the beating Long Beach in the championship, knowing we're going to the tournament. I just want my East Coast accent back in when I said tournament. And then seeing there was about 10, 15 seconds left in the Cal win. And usually, I'm locked in. I don't, there could be 20,000. I'm focused on what's going on at hand. But because the game was over. And for maybe 15 seconds, I could hear the Warriors chants in the stands. I looked into the stands. I saw my family. I saw our fans. To be able to enjoy that is indescribable. But going back to what I said earlier, and this is the belief, there will be nothing better than those moments I just talked about, other than leading our program through the tough times and getting back there. That would be the culmination. That would be the dream, and then being back there consistently. So I hope that answered that question.
This should be exciting on Thursday night. I mean, you get a chance to play a basketball game against a good opponent.
What a blessing.
What gets better than that?
Nothing.
Unbelievable. Ron, thank you so much. Be well. We'll see you on Thursday night. I just do want to mention you have tremendous support from your family here, as do I. I even got a ride here. So, yep, all great. And this is going to be the start of a winning streak on Thursday night, I believe. I believe that's coming.
I appreciate you having me. I appreciate everybody being here. I always say stay with us. The best is yet to come, and that's the mentality.
This group's staying. This group ain't going anywhere. I promise you that. And thanks to Keegan. Appreciate you, brother. And that will do it for tonight. From all of us at ESPN Honolulu, I'm Bobby Curran. Aloha.
Thank you.
This has been Call the Coach on ESPN Honolulu. Brought to you by
Hawaiian